past, present, future. I'm the bones of the city. Who is my owner? Do the remains of the city belong to the past, present, or future? The Past is a Foreign Country, by David Lowenthal. This city is not just one, but is and has been many different cities throughout time. The city of 2 millennia ago and the city today. The city of the ghetto and the city of the hills. Each of these endless distinctions of cities is an opportunity for intermunicipal engagement. But do these cities have any obligation to each other? As if they were at war, one city takes its predecessors' spoils as their plunder, and their daughters as wives. Sacred spoils from the temples and palaces are plundered for door lintels and jambs. Tombstones are used to ornament palazzi, and the idols of old are held in museums, pantheons of plundered icons. Any city's history can be observed through the horizontal layers that stack upon each other, with the oldest artifacts at the bottom and the newest construction at the top. A dead zone is needed to find these artifacts and pieces of history. Whatever was occupying that land is removed, and instead an austere social bubble is put around history. When this happens, that part of the city is no longer dedicated to the living citizens, but rather for study, tourism, or a global perception the city wants to uphold. This historical layering fails to explore how the city interacts with past versions of itself. Vertical layering occurs when a historically significant building is not left to the elements, then later recovered, but when that building is integrated into the urban and social landscape. The building itself is still dedicated to the living residents of a city while staying true to its history. In San Maria in Cosmedin, an ancient structure was not torn down but added to, converting architecture from one generation into something better for a new generation. The Via del Portico de Ottavia showcases how past generations' environment can be both isolated and integrated. The Portico de Ottavia itself is an example of horizontal layering, being excavated out of the ground and draped in protective rope and railing to forbid the sullying of its site with modern inhabitants. However, it is complemented by a gallery of buildings from different ages and styles only having their axis and relation to the road in common. It is as if by cutting into the Earth's crust, one would be able to see the defining characteristics of the past city, while they're still interacting with the present inhabitants. The city is a theater, creating a set from the built environment, attracting spectators, and employing actors. Forthcoming generations put on modern, medieval, or classical performances, finding ways to reuse the set pieces or build anew. Despite the classical palaces, the medieval homes, the Baroque church, or the monumental scroll, Piazza Colonna represents different performances in each direction, with sets reused to create businesses, communication, government, and shopping centers. A framework provides a set with its external features, and what occurs within tells a story. A hum of anticipation surrounds the audience as a new day begins, and the urban theaters begin their first acts. In the Piazza of St. Ignazio de Loyola, the audience begins its turn to be entertained by the Baroque act full of theatrics and dynamism, with the surrounding buildings curved away to expand the audience's view. Then the actors, who are the activators, the change, and the influence in the tragic Palazzo Montecitorio, decide on what should happen to the city and its remains. The architecture itself reinforces the power that's inside, thrusting itself onto the spectators below. The performance never dies. The river flows and washes out what exists. Nature comes to collect what was hers to begin with, and a new act is born, one that showcases an actor we have yet to see on the stage. Do the remains of the city belong to the past, present, or future? The remains belong to all three. In any instance where one existence is cut off, the city declines into the hands of the audience without a show, only a haunted scene.